Sando came, just the amount of professionalism that travelled the way through that era, it obviously had a lot to do with some of the success once he left as well.
It's a bit nervy during the week at different times, but just can't wait. Beautiful day. Colts have just got the job done first up, so really good feeling around the place this week, and let's hope we can finish off what's been a good year.
Yeah, look, it was certainly it was a highlight of my coaching career, that's for sure.
We are just about underway in season 2011, the grand final. Umpire of the year, Ben Leonard, to lay the football down. Commentator of the year, David Lithgow, to open proceedings.
And they've got the big guns right in the middle. O'Donoghue straight down to Scotty Stevens initially. Interesting matchups there, Monday and Bristow. But Shackleton with the first clearance out, kicks along.
Well, I think the professionalism that, as we talked about, that Adam Sanders instilled into the club in 2003, which continued on with by Ian Taylor when he took over. And he was obviously the assistant coach as well through Adam's time. That just really instilled the professionalism that needs to get to the next level.
But I just think, when you're at a club, whether you're there for 2 years or whether it's 20 years, you've got to leave it better than what you come there. And that's what I suppose one of the things I am proud of is when I'd probably just run out of puff a little bit at Launceston, like I probably needed something else to do. I moved on doing some coaching at like the state academy level. But before I left, we'd set it up for Ian Taylor to come in and just seamlessly take over. Like it wasn't, Mark Thurlow and myself and Kerry Finch, and we all sort of had it planned.
I know Tails would have emulated a lot of his theories, although he brought his own flavour. There was definitely a core group of players that had came through the system that Adam implemented, and obviously that paid dividends in the long run. There was so many strong, well-experienced senior players there to carry the young group of players that were coming through as we were finishing up our careers.
Ant's a good mate of mine, so it was easy for us to transition that. And look, he should take most of the credit for the 2011 Premiership, because that was a great accolade for the club to be able to do. But yeah, I appreciate what people think of him. But as I said, even though the premierships are great, I'm really pleased that the club was able to keep going and be strong after you've left, and you're able to set some standards in place.
O'Keefe kept running. So just a stop-start approach here from the Blues, looking to hold on to the football and try and set something up through the middle. That's where it goes now. Dangerous kick, Green. They've turned it over again. So Bernie, their persistence is paying off, although now it's with Whiting. And they've got numbers forward of the football now, so streaming through the middle, it's Woolley, the left footer. He could kick their first goal. Josh Woolley, the defender, finally gets the Blues on the board.
I come back in 2010 and I think we underachieved a little bit. We got beat in a prelim final, and I just think we probably should have played off that year, but we got beat under lights on a Friday night in a prelim, and I think that drove us to a big pre-season and stuff the next year, which is certainly, we went through, we didn't lose a game, and then we lost the second semi to Burnie. So, there was lots of media and lots around the fact that we hadn't beaten Clarence for a long time and we were chokers. And so to get the job done was also a relief. But the club off the field also transformed that year. We went from more of a presidential committee set up to a board set up as well in the prior to the 2011 season, and we really did take a turn for the professionalism. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, look, it certainly was. We come out of the NTFL off the back of a triple premiership where we were obviously very successful, and we trained really hard and got the results. But that transition into the TSL probably did take the club a couple of years to actually adapt to. Myself personally, as well as a few others, to be able to back up week in, week out was something new to us at TSL level.
People behind the scenes really stepped up and made the transition from different leagues and handled that really well. But yeah, professionalism, we were, through Sando, we were very good. I think the transition to State League was just another step. It was just a new league. We'd always wanted to play the southern teams. You hear about them, the Clarences.
Brennan was obviously in Clarence at the time, but they were the benchmark of the comp in 09 and 10. And then I think the biggest relief for me, people say, what was the most important game you ever played in? And I said the game, like the prelim final, that we beat Clarence, because I knew that if we could get in the grand final that we were going to win.
There's always been an element of guilt that I've had about that, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And probably the biggest subsider of that guilt was when Gene got his first.
Yeah.
Having put up with the early days of his career and not getting that much success team-wise, to then sticking it out to actually, winning in 2011.
7 points the margin. Harry Walters, inspired coaching move. Spent most of this season playing down back, moved up forward and has ignited the team. So Shepherd now for the Blues going inside 50. Finch in good position and takes the mark.
Yeah, 09 we gave ourselves a pretty good chance when we went from the NTFL to the statewide. We thought we were probably a good chance. We underperformed, I think, in 09. That year in 2010, Ann Taylor came across, and I think 10 was a really good building year for 2011. And then to win it in 2011 with a great bunch of young guys like your Jacko Thurlows, Jesse Lonigan, and there's plenty of other guys that were coming through, was a great effort for the club. Yeah.
You've got to stay calm, you've got to stay focused. You've played 21 games of footy this year, boys, and we're not about to panic and start inventing new things in the last quarter of a grand final. Sure, we know what's at stake, but we stick to what we've been doing and we stick to what we know works. All right? Now I'm just asking you, I'm pleading for you for yourselves. Come on. You've got 30 minutes, boys. Come on. 30 minutes. Can you find something as an individual? Come on. Can you help get your mate up? Can you give the team something? And can you come home with a cup?
That was a big day.
Yeah.
I think
very emotional.
I think for me, 2011, where we won four premierships. So TSL women, under 18s, the development league and the seniors. So we basically won the 4 premierships.
Tim Bristow was awarded the Lynch Medal that day too for best in the league that year.
I remember Tails, our coach at the time, Ant Taylor, rang me the night before the grand final, which was our sort of premiership year, and he told me that I'd won it, and he thought it'd be better if I knew before the game. I'm still the jury.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's an awkward one, isn't it?
Yeah, so I had to go and accept it. The luncheon was held with the best and fairest count on grand final day back then, so I wasn't able to enjoy it, I suppose, at the time. So I had to go and accept it halfway through our warm-up, which was a really awkward moment. Obviously, back in the day, the grand finals were quite well received by the public, so there may have been 8,000 or 9,000 or whatever there instead of your 2 or 3 that had been the last couple of years. And
Lonigan working hard again. So much to like about him as Bristow just cruises past. He's got numbers outside. Woolley will want his left foot falling to ground.
So quite a large crowd, and to walk out there and they asked me to give a speech. Obviously, I didn't. I took the medal off my neck and ran back inside. But looking back on it, it was very special to win it. It would have been nice to go and see how the medal count ran out. But I do remember Cameron Thurley was a raging favourite from Clarence, and Brian Finch kicked 100 goals that year. So we sort of knew early on, because they used to release in the Examiner the top 40, the top 30, the top 20, and Brian didn't even get in the top 40 kicking 100 goals. So someone had to get the votes, and I suppose I'm just lucky it was me.
Inboard to Sinclair. The kick now finds Ellis. He's a smooth mover. Ellis is a good user. And there it is. The Launceston Football Club have came and conquered. They came to second semi-final undefeated. Had their year turned on its head, and haven't they responded? The Lottie Blues Premiers 2011.
In the NTFL, you did have a couple of off weeks every now and then, and to have to back up week in, week out, it did take us probably 12 months to actually adjust to that level of competition. We pushed finals for the first couple of years, and then obviously our third year in, we managed to strike gold under Anthony Taylor.
We saw the three-quarter time huddle with Anthony Taylor was inspirational. He's played just a massive part in the emergence of the Launceston Football Club, and I guess the improvement on their finals campaign from last year, which they would have been extremely disappointed with, and to be able to come away this year with the chocolates is just outstanding and extremely well deserved.
A lot's been said about our leaders and our older players, but gee whiz, our kids and our second and third year players really stood up this year. Today again, but this year as a whole.
There's certainly a lot of depth across the board over those years, and we were blessed to be a part of it, to be honest.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to hold over the 2011 West Point TSL Cup to the Launceston Football Club.
You better come up there, boys.